In this video, we're going to be talking to Sean from Zoo Audio, and he's got a special one for us. First of all, he's going to spin some records. We're going to listen to Soul 6s that are really nice speakers. I had a lot of questions for him, and he answered them all. We had some technical questions. We had some more subjective, objective. But what's interesting is I was at Capital Audio Fest. I was in an elevator. I met his wife because she was wearing this really cool, iconic Zoo Audio shirt. And we got to talk, and she's like, you gotta, come visit us. And I was like, sure, I can't wait. So I went over there, and boy, was it different. The vibe was different. The setup was very different. The kind of, the buzz was different. Like the way that people were in the room, they all had like a smile on their face. Is just a different soul to the room. I loved them. I thought they were great. Sean is the man. His wife is very lovely. The whole vibe of the speaker, the vibe of the company, the soul of the company is there. And to me, that's very important. So it's a big hell yeah for me.
All right, well, sitting behind tables is kind of, yeah. All right, so, and I can overlay some stuff that isn't gonna, get you dinged.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
On YouTube's
yeah.
copyright situation.
Yeah, and let's do this.
Oh, that's so cool. Is that Grotto?
Yeah, it was Serato. I hate DJ software is so much better.
Yeah.
So yeah, we run DJ software
so
typically.
cool.
Yeah, and I've got a mixer underneath the table so I can actually DJ. But
I just want to talk a little bit about your speakers.
Sure.
Get an idea. Like, I know you've been doing it for many years.
Yeah.
So why the one speaker? What makes that better versus doing the multi-driver?
Yeah, well, so a lot of my stuff is experience-based, and I do this stuff mainly for myself, and hopefully it sells. I'm starting to change a little bit and listen to customers, and I do want to make people happy as well, but myself first.
Yeah.
So, I've been playing in audio since I was a little kid. When I started messing around, I loved high efficiency, but I wanted it to fit in my house for, well, my basement, which was unfinished, my parents didn't come down to, so I got to take over the basement as a kid. So I wanted it to sound good in my basement.
Yeah.
So the 10-inch was a driver size that I messed around with a lot when I was a kid. 12s as well. Really not much under a 10. It's hard to make an 8-inch sound full and rich. So yeah. So then when we started to do it commercial, that was 15 years goes by. I tried, school. Motorcycle industry, and then finally I worked for Kimber Cable in the 90s, and still remain good friends with.
Where is that?
Kimber Cable's in Ogden. I'm in Ogden. We're just north of Salt Lake City.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. So I just kept developing and trying different stuff for 20 years, and then after a few different things, I realized, no, I'm in the audio world. This is my day job. Yeah, and so we developed 10. And a reason for being, and some cable stuff as well, and yeah. So 2000 we launched our own thing.
That's awesome. How big is your company now?
We're pretty small. There's 8 core people, and
that's awesome.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. We have a good time.
Yeah.
We love what we do. We like to have dirty hands.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You guys have like a shop where you build everything?
Yeah, so right now we're in 3 different shops, and then we also sub out some things that we decided early on we didn't want to do CNC work,
Okay.
not CNC wood milling.
I see.
So we worked with, there was we wanted to do the finish work and the driver work. That was our primary goal.
Right.
So we kept the dust down, and we worked with this company, cool old company in the Ogden area called Herco.
Okay.
That evolved into another company now. It's called Trim Art, and they cut all of our plate work. So they do a lot of. So all these are cut at their place, and so they've got big CNC equipment. So they've got 4 5x10 tables, and one guy drives 4 tables at once. Robot arm picking stuff up and setting it out. So we get really high efficiency scale.
What kind of material? While we're talking about this, what is the wood? And
on the cheap side, MDF. MDF is super easy to work with. It's really consistent, and and MDF is a whole category of product. There's all kinds of different types of MDF. So we use a lot of our products use a type of MDF, which has a thicker, a stronger outside skin than the core material, but it's not. It wouldn't be recognized as HDF, which is another category of product, which is more like melamine and a lot of glue. I don't like too much glue in the mix, but But that's on the cheaper side. And then on the more expensive side, we use some composites, and we also use Baltic birch. And then we use this ply material called okame. This okame material is it's a West African wood, grows super fast, but it's really high strength, low weight, very high damping factor. It's a tone wood as well, so bass guitars, other instruments are also made from this material. But it's really light, really damp, and also really strong. So the superstructure inside gives us some creative freedoms to tune the cabinet out or tune parts of it in if needed. But
right. Is it, do you do the bracing out of the same material? Or is it
most of the bracing in this is also okame ply, but there are sections in this that we do a knife edge joint with a higher density material to give it a certain amount of weight. So it changes the resonant characteristics in the panels. So there's some strategy also with when we build this. And if you online, I'm pretty sure on our site we have some guts of this, or we definitely have our drawings for this online, and people can see it. Yeah, right on.
How do you drive these things? What do you need? I know it's high efficiency, so you're talking. You could do like a couple watts.
Yeah. So I do like low power. The sound is, for the bang for the buck, a 45 tube is kind of magic. You can make it, anybody with a little bit of solder skill and download some plans and use a 45 tube from, and there's a lot of new old stock, and for $400 in parts, you can make an amp that sounds amazing. But it's an amp and it's a 1.5 watt output. But it sounds fantastic. And so our reason for efficiency isn't so you can use these flea watt amps. Efficiency has a sonic profile, and it's expressed technically in the impulse domain. The impulse response on a high efficiency speaker is really quick. So have lots of climb and a quick decay. So it kind of self-damps.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. And so it's just not, the reason for it is not just do these flea watt amps, which I love, but it also works for really high power stuff. There's a couple really high power amps that I also love. That they're switching amps, and I dig some of those too. Most of that comes out of the pro world that I like, but so our driver isn't just high efficiency; it's also robust, so you can really beat on it, and that doesn't die.
How loud do they go?
Well, the Soul in this room, so we've got 100 watt with about 5% distortion. It's a push pull. 6550s. Yep. And in this room, that's about 115 dB SPLZ. So
how low do these go? Like as far as
in this room, we're pretty solid down through 38 hertz. Yeah, no sub in this room. I can, if you want, I can cue up some dance music while we're talking.
Do it. Actually, on my
well, I've got some to continue on with the Gil Scott Heron's, vibe. I've got Whitey on the Moon that's by Bexy, producer DJ. Give you a little taste of the low end.
I'm liking it. It's so fun.